حي على الفلاح.
Did Allah describe gham with? And the study of that, how will that help me deal with someone who keeps thinking the future is bleak, who never sees the bright side of things, who's always looking at the glass as half empty, someone who's pessimistic all the time, negative all the time. Don't look at the person next to you. But but you can have people like that. The next term, very popular term in the Quran, commonly used, is al-huzn. Al-huzn, and the root letters for that are ha, za, and nun. And this is for one to remain unhappy or uneasy about something. You're not settled about something. It's keeping you from going to sleep. You keep worrying about something. It's actually the opposite of farah. Farah actually means you can't sleep because you're too happy. That's farah. It's the exact opposite. Now you can't sleep because you're too sad, you're too depressed, you're too worried. You keep thinking about something and it's not letting you go. Maybe you've been looking for a job for a long time, you can't find it. So all you're thinking about, you're driving, you're thinking about it. Maybe you were about to get married and 2 months before the marriage, the other family said, no, we don't like you anymore, Assalamu alaikum. And you're in depression, like I had everything set, you printed the cards, it was up on my Facebook page, and now they say that huzn is an onset, it sets into a person after an incident. Something happens, and as a result you become depressed. You were hoping something worked out your way, and it didn't work out your way. In other words, Allah is saying, they will have no grief, they will have no fears on them, Judgment Day. Believers will have no fears on them, and it won't be they that are in a state of sadness. It's not them that are going to be in a state of sadness. What does that seem to indicate? If it's not them that are in a state of sadness, that means somebody else is going to be. The hum there actually indicates somebody else in between parentheses. That's the beauty of the Arabic language. What we're learning from that is you will have states of sadness in life, in this world. Huzn will be there. But a perpetual state of sadness is actually not for you. And whatever huzn you're going through is nothing compared to the huzn of that day. Whatever grief you're going through, whatever suffering or emotional trauma you're going through, and I'm not minimizing it in any way, but what Allah is saying is the huzn of that day is the actual huzn. It's the actual huzn. And it's not like if you feel sad, you must not have good iman. That's not true either. We'll talk about that a little. That'll be my second part. Is it true that if we really had iman, we would never be sad? No, absolutely not. That's not true at all. Prophets experienced a great deal of sadness. Sadness is a part of life. It's a reality of life. The Quran is not there to eliminate sadness. The Quran is there to help us navigate it. Because it is one of the tests of life. Just like happiness is one of the tests of life. Just like anger is one of the tests of life. It's not like you can eliminate anger. You can't. These are emotions that were programmed inside of us. It's like saying, like you're eliminating one of the things that is inside you, like a limb. These are the unseen limbs of our being, right? These emotions that we have.
وَالظَّاهِرُ وَالْبَاطِنُ وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. And He is knowledgeable over all things. Notice knowledge will come up a lot. هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ فِي سِتَّةِ أَيَّامٍ. He's the one who created the skies and the earth in 6 days. ثُمَّ اسْتَوَى عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. Then He took His place, or istawa, rose upon al-arsh. We discussed this before. يَعْلَمُ مَا يَلِجُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. He knows what enters into the earth. وَمَا يَخْرُجُ مِنْهَا. And what comes out of it. What enters into the earth is the plant. What enters into the earth is the corpse, the grave. The coffin enters into the earth. The rain enters into the earth. The seed enters into the earth. وَمَا يَخْرُجُ مِنْهَا. And whatever will come out of the earth. Whatever comes out of the earth on Judgment Day will be us. Before then it's plants. Before then is its treasures, its resources. وَمَا يَنْزِلُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ. And He knows what comes down from the sky. وَمَا يَعْرُجُ فِيهَا. And what rises up into the sky. What rises up into the sky isn't just vapors. It's not just vapors, it's also the deeds of human beings on a daily basis. It's also our souls. وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. And He is with you wherever you may be. This ma'iyah of Allah, when we were influenced by Greek philosophy, we started discussing, is Allah physically here with us? How is He here with us? If He says He's with us here, where is Allah exactly? Well, He says He's on the arsh, now He says He's with us. How do we reconcile these things? We're missing the entire point. The point of Allah Azza wa Jal saying He's with us, huwa ma'akum, is to know that you're never alone. Is to know that Allah's company is with you. It's to know that you and I are constantly in Allah's presence. First, Allah describes that He's this incredible king that rose on His throne, that created everything, that everything else is in submission to. Now, I don't want you to think about Allah for a second. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. I just want to get a psychological state across to you. You're being told about this important entity that everybody has respect for, that has this grand kingdom, right? This really important figure. And then all of a sudden you're told He's right there next to you. What happens to you? Aren't you like shaken up, like, wait, He's here? He's with me? Does your behavior experience a change if you realize someone of that value, that importance, that grandeur, that scale, that magnitude is there? And by the way, if that important a person, at the human level, if that important a person was with you personally, ready to listen to you, would you not make whatever requests you possibly could? Wouldn't you? Allah Azza wa Jal offers His ma'iyyah, His closeness. And I personally take from it, in the surahs that are addressing the weakness of iman, perhaps the realization that Allah is accompanying us in our life. Allah's ma'iyyah, Allah's closeness, His withness is there all the time. When that recognition starts getting diluted, our iman starts getting diluted. Our faith, our conviction, our struggle, the zeal to struggle starts getting diluted. This surah will also be a very good comprehensive view of the reality of spirituality. The essence of spirituality. This surah, to me at least, addresses that problem in the most comprehensive way. إِنَّكَ كَادِحٌ. No doubt you are engaged, you are actively engaged. This is ism fa'il, so it's active engagement. You're actively engaged in toiling labor. You're actively engaged in toiling labor. Before we go any further, let's understand what that means. You know, in another place Allah says, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. We created the human being in just harsh work. So that one of the conditions, it's a fact of life. Human beings, our entire life is struggling for things. It's struggling for things. Think of your entire life like exits or milestones on a highway. Right? You run out of gas, you got to get to the gas station, then you got to get to the next one. Destination you forget about, you worry more about how you get to the next milestone. Right? You get a little older, when am I graduating from college? You get a little older, when am I going to get married? When am I going to, when's the baby coming? When are we going to move to the house? When does the new job start? When does the second store open up? When? You have all these milestones. And for every milestone, you work really hard. You get just immersed in that work. This is a struggle towards something without any distinction. And it's a laborsome struggle without any distinction whether it's a good thing or bad thing. You're just engaged in it. You just got to get it done. You don't care if it's good or bad. So it's not an evil work or a good work necessarily. It's just work altogether. Now, see, all of this, when we do hard work, we have that goal in front of us, but Allah puts a different goal. He says, إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ إِنَّكَ كَادِحٌ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ كَدْحًا. You are engaged in this active work rigorously, non-stop, day in and day out, business. You go to somebody, how's it going? Alhamdulillah, housework, man, it's a lot of work. Yeah, busy, It's always that. What's going on in life? Oh, well, there's this one thing going on. There's this other thing going on. We got to finish this project. And you take 20 minutes describing the guy your project that you're about to finish. Or this new business you're about to start. Or this class you're about to take. Or this term paper you got to hand in. It's always something. But Allah says these tiny milestones, what ends up happening is you forget where you're headed. You have to go to one, then to the next, and you stop realizing you're actually on a highway. And these are just small stops. Where does this highway end? What's the conclusion? Remember we talked, this surah is about inevitability? What's the inevitable? Where are you going to end up? To your Lord. You're headed to your Lord. Whatever you're doing, you're rebelling against Allah, your life is about partying, your life is about business, your life is about studies, whatever your life is about, doesn't matter what road you take, they all lead one place. In the end, you are headed towards your Lord. إِنَّكَ كَادِحٌ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ كَدْحًا. And then Allah says, subhanallah, فَمُلَاقِي. You're headed to your Lord, meaning this, what it really means is, فَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ. Standing before your Lord. That's where you're ending up. That's your real project. فَمُلَاقِيهِ, rough translation means then you are going to meet Him for sure. Then as a consequence of this toil, you're going to meet Him. Now this work, this laborsome effort that the person is doing isn't necessarily to please their Lord. They're just doing it for their life.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If you enjoyed this video, please do share it with friends and family. If you want to see more videos from this series, click on the box at the top. If you want to see other videos, click on the box at the bottom. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks.